finishes for his best of the year. Jack Roush highly involved in the Trans Am division. Here's Lynn St. James.
Jack Roush very involved with the NASCAR series, but came here this week and they've been having not quite the season they wanted to so far this year with the Fords, and he's here trying to get a handle on things and see what's going on.
And behind Lynn is Ron Fellows, one of the Canadians in the Trans Am series in the Motorcraft Mustang. There's Der Haag passing through in the number 40 car, and the 6 machine driven by Randy Ruhlman from Concord, California. Jim Der Haag carrying one of our in-car cameras.
Going up the front straight here, down in turn 1.
That is Herb Hare's in-car camera, but in any case, he is now headed in the straightaway between turns 1 and 2. He's running in 17th position, Herb is, after a spin earlier in the day.
Get a chance to see how tight this track really is. A lot of right-hand turns, 90 degrees, a lot of pavement changes too, a lot of sections of cement. Makes it very rough on the cars. Really beat them up, really beat up all the driving gear pieces, the transmissions, the rear end. And for 69 laps, that really can take its toll.
Here's the footwork. Watch him on and off the brake and the accelerator and the clutch.
Keep them busy all day long.
Do you notice he's not using the clutch very much?
You don't have to really use the clutch at all. With the transmissions, it's called a dog ring, and instead of using synchros, it's just a direct engage and disengage. And a lot of the guys will use the clutches for downshifting, not much on upshifting, hardly at all on upshifting.
It's a really interesting shot. You can see him on and off the accelerator and hitting the brake hard at some points, like right now.
Tom Boyd, the Beretta just going down to the screen. Jim Der Haag. Looks like Steve Saleen is working his way up there in a General Tire Mustang.
You also notice the drive shaft there as it turns as he goes around the corners. So some tight action here in the Rouen Greater Des Moines Grand Prix. It is Scott Sharp that has the advantage right now over Tom Kendall, and we'll have more right after these messages. So maybe those tires, Scott, that you talked about are beginning to give Scott just a little bit of problem.
It looks like he can keep up with him on the straight, but when he gets the turns, Tommy's able to actually stretch out a little bit on him in the ICI Beretta.
What do you think in terms of timing on these pit stops? They have to take on 5 gallons of fuel. Will it come early? Will it come late? Or is it pretty much up to the driver?
A lot of it's just up to the driver. They have to make a minimum of 15 laps before they can even come in and make that pit stop. The V6s, they have advantage because they don't need as much fuel. They can run a lighter weight at the start of the race and don't have to take on, I mean, they have to take on 5 gallons, but don't have to carry as much weight as the V8s have to. So that's definitely an advantage for them. They can also run with a softer compound of tires without tearing, which gives them a little better grip, a little bit better performance on the track. Anytime after that 15-lap window, depending on how the car is handling, they'll definitely be in to make that pit stop.
Kendall is driving a V6. And Scott Sharp, at number 33, is, of course, a V8. And not all Trans Am races have pit stops. In fact, most of them don't, but once in a while we'll have a race in which a pit stop is required, and that is the case today.
Interesting story with the ICI Beretta. ICI not just one of their sponsors, but is also involved heavily in building a lot of pieces on the car. A lot of the body work, a lot of the paints, even some of the lubricants are built by ICI. So they're using it not just as a place to show their sponsorship, but as a test bed for new pieces, new development. And he got pretty sideways off that turn, too.
Got the rear end out just a little bit and almost tagged the barrier, but did not. And this is the 15th lap, so the next time by will be the opportunity for them to come into the pits if they so choose.
Lapping traffic, that's going to become a major situation now. They're coming up on some back markers here. And that's really sometimes sometimes you beat the bear and sometimes the bear beats you with some of this lapping traffic. Sometimes they see you, sometimes you work your way back. In this part of the race, it's really not smart to take chances on traffic. It's too easy to get a fender tore off or bend a wheel, and that'd be the end for your chances for the whole day.
It's a long race. We're only 15 laps into it right now, so you don't want to take any unnecessary chances at this point of the event. Right now, Tommy Kendall is sneaking up on the number 11 car, driven by Bob C. from Avon, Colorado. As he comes down the straightaway, he'll be able to pass Zeeb, and Scott Sharp probably will be able to too, and maybe a change of... Oh, no.
Yeah, he was sticking his nose in there, and now they come down the front straight. You have to be real careful with that slower traffic. Talk a little earlier. It's you start taking chances, you can end up tearing up your race car before.
The pits have been opened with the completion of the 15th lap, and now you may come in for the 5 gallons of gasoline that are required.
They want to try and go the whole distance on the same set of tires. We said earlier that if they do opt to change tires, they're limited to 1 gun and 1 jack, so they have to do 1 tire at a time, which takes substantially longer time.
These are the first 2 cars. Kendall and Sharp. Back in 3rd position is Chris Neifel, and he's about 13 seconds behind these 2, so these 2 cars have definitely pulled out and taken off from the rest of the field. Battle of V6s and V8s. Kendall in the V6 and Scott Sharp in the V8. Waiting for Chris Neifel to come around the corner. There he is. He's running by himself too. That 31 car running behind Neifel is not on the lead lap, and those cars that have dropped out of competition include Jim McGuire in number 90 and Rich Sloma. So count 2 cars off of the starting lineup, and 33 remain in competition.
Lap traffic they're coming up on, and like I said earlier, they want to. Tommy's thinking of. He has to make 69 laps. He wants to have a good car at the end of the race. And he's making his pit stop, early pit stop.
Let's go to John Kernan, who can call this pit stop by the leader, Tommy Kendall.
Tommy Kendall brings the ICI Olivetti Beretta in. It is going to be a quick gas and go. You'll see that they're gassing in the center of the rear deck. He's only going to need a splash to get the 5 gallons in, and Tommy is away.
Nice quick pit stop, and so Kendall is in, and so is his teammate Chris Neifel, as they take on the required gallons, and John is right there also. And that was even a quicker stop. So Neifel now comes out of the pits in car number 3, giving up his 3rd position. And the ICI Berettas both have made pit stops the lap after they could.
Interesting strategy. Get in, get those pit stops out of the way. They know they can make the distance, or feel confident they can make the distance on the tires. Get in there, get out, make quick time, stay out of problems. Now they can just bring it on all the way home.
Here's Wayne Akers in car number 21 coming in. Doesn't take much time for that 5 gallons of fuel to go in.
Looks like it's taking a little longer than it should for 5 gallons.
Certainly did take it a lot longer than it did for the Kendall and Neifel cars, and the number 9 car of Dick Danielson also in the Cutlass Supreme. He roars back into life. And there's the leader, Scott Sharp, who shows no sign of making a pit stop at the moment, having negotiated turn number 1 and completing another lap. He's about to put a lap on Dick Danielson. Danielson runs right ahead of Scott, and you can see Dick motioning. Go ahead, Scott, take the inside line and go ahead and pass.
It's nice when drivers are courteous like that. You come out lapping guys, there's no reason to really race them. A lot of times they'll be nice and cordial and point you by on the side they want to go by. It's nice, clean for you, clean for them.
Here's Darren Brassfield in the Neolife Oldsmobile in for his stop.
Quick 5 gallons of fuel.
They're the top 5 very quickly, and he goes back in the action. Darren Brassfield.
Nice, real quick pit stop.
That was probably the fastest of the